Shrek is love, Shrek is life. I lay in bed, it's cold, and then something is moving towards me, and something touches me. Hello again, YouTube! This is DrKendo, and I'm here with Scribblenauts Unlimited. No, not something else. Anyway, this is the object editor commentary series that I do. There's probably about almost 80 episodes by this point. Even though this will have a number next to it, I also count some of the things that weren't numbered. I have some other videos that weren't numbered in here. But basically, I take whatever the most popular request is each week, and just on the most recently uploaded video, and I create whatever that most popular request is, as long as it's a gaming, movie, or nerd, geek, culture-related item. So we've started off with Argos for today's popular request. This one won by a landslide, a major landslide victory, I would say. We're gonna be taking Rumpelstiltskin for both arms, actually, on either side. I'll just go ahead and say that this creation is for Shrek. So yes, you want to color the dress-looking thing, the toga, I guess, that Argos is wearing, and also color Rumpelstiltskin's, the shirt part of his arms. You basically just color all of that, this, like, off-white, beige-ish, almost gray color. And then, of course, the hands, you want this, like, green, slimy-looking color for Shrek Skin. You can actually just keep the legs that come with Argos, just color his shoes a little bit darker, and you can actually use for the tights, I guess, or pants that Shrek wears. They look like tights sometimes. It's almost like a plaid color pattern in the color pattern library. And this is interesting. I took a little bit of time to play around with this, but I'm going to use a stake twice for the overcoat vest shirt part that Shrek is wearing. Sorry if I'm confusing and not describing things very well, but you can see it right here, so you can kind of get the visualization as well. We're using an ostrich egg. Of course, this is different from the normal egg shape in that it's just bigger, fatter, kind of wider a little bit. And so this, I think, you know, I was looking at some images on Google Images of Shrek, and his head is kind of ostrich egg shaped like this, so I kind of immediately thought of that, and it looks like it's working out for me. So I've used a vuvuzela twice. You know, vuvuzelas are those things that they had in the World Cup back, not this most recent one, but the one before that, a little over 4 years ago. And they were those horns that were basically making that annoying noise or whatever, you know? So that's what a vuvuzela is, and you basically, of course, double that, color it the green color. We've got dots for the eyes, a big dotception. We've got a nose, and you make the nose really big, and then use a hemisphere or half-sphere type shape. You can find that in the geometry library, or you can just type in hemisphere and get that for the mouth. Just color it with a very dark red color. And I used eyebrows because without those eyebrows, Shrek would look a lot more nice and happy and friendly and everything. And while Shrek can be friendly and have his friendly moments, we want our Shrek to look a little bit menacing. But yes, let's read some fun facts. I do this in every episode, just fun facts or background information. All Shrek is love, Shrek is life put aside, we'll say this. Shrek is a 2001 DreamWorks digitally animated movie with one of my favorite actors / voice talents, Mike Myers, voicing the title character of Shrek. Of course, as many of you know, Shrek is an ogre, but going back to the voices and whatnot, there's actually an interesting side story, backstory about Shrek. The late Chris Farley was actually the original actor cast to voice Shrek in the movie, but sadly and unfortunately, Chris Farley died in 1997 before he could finish the voicing for the movie, and he was about 80 to 90% done by that point. It was then that Mike Myers was brought in, and he did the first take without a Scottish accent, but then decided it was better to include it for the final voice. I do really like it. I do think it was a good voice for Shrek. The movie was also planned to be animated using mocap, or motion capture technology, but that produced poor results, apparently. But hey, I mean, it was a big success as an animated film worthy of adult interest, as there were several adult-oriented jokes, but also a simple enough plot and style of humor to also appeal to children. Now, there's been 3 sequels, 2 holiday specials, a Puss in Boots spin-off film, video games, a comic book, and even a stage musical production. And yes, unfortunately, there is a YouTube video with nearly 5 million views now that I won't get into. My audience is really young, and I don't mind cursing from time to time, but explaining that video any further is really out of my realm and reach. So yeah, let's just move on. So that's our Shrek. Look at him, he looks pretty epic. You know, the head is probably one of the things that was, I would say, the hardest to accurately represent. You know, his eyebrows aren't that full, for one, if you're gonna really nitpick, which I never like people to do, but that is one thing, you know, we can't get that kind of non-full eyebrow look with the eyebrow shape that's in Scribblenauts. So let's go ahead and test this out. We're actually in the Bullet Point Bayou. We were here for the Banjo-Kazooie creation, actually, but I thought it was very fitting just because, you know, it's a
swamp. But yes, I have the Shrek, of course, to shoot out mud. You saw that right there. It kind of looks poopy, but he shoots out mud as a projectile whenever he loses or gains some health, which he also becomes brave or fearless, I think was the adjective I specifically used for that. And I also have it set up where he will protect donkeys, so we've typed in a gray donkey right there to represent the character of Donkey from the Shrek series. So he's now fighting this evil brave knight. I don't think that knight really even stood a chance. This is interesting because the mud is still hanging around, but you can probably notice that the Shrek creation is actually trying to attack my DrKendo, who I've had to make immortal because otherwise I'd probably die at the hands of Shrek many times right now. That's because he started off with the source object of Argos, of course, so if you are going to use that source object like I did, just be aware that that is going to happen to you and your avatar. So let's go ahead and do another battle. We'll just take another knight again and strong this time. Oh, but it looks like you saw right there that the scripting for the donkeys actually works because Shrek had the little shield icon emoticon thing show up above his head. So that proves actually that the knight attacked the donkey first and Shrek went to protect it. So the scripting for that worked as well. So it all looks good. Again, just leave 1 or 2 requests at a time. You know, don't request like 10 characters all at once. I don't do YouTubers, but I do movie characters or things, gaming-related objects, and nerd or geek culture-related objects. I'll accept those as well. And only requests that are left on the most recent video in the series will be taken. So after a week, this video will be obsolete, meaning all requests that are left on it won't be counted. I hope that makes sense. But yes, I appreciate everybody's attention. Make sure to go ahead and check out another video that I did actually just earlier on in the week. It was on Thursday, September 11th. I announced the 2nd annual DrKendo September 11th project. There will be an annotation to that right here. So I hope you guys can all check that out and vote for your favorite animal, as we are going to be donating to the World Wildlife Fund and adopting an animal with our donation. But yes, I will catch you guys on the next vid, and thanks for viewing.
Fun of the life's twists and turns, and I made the cycles end with dignity and courage. Now I hope to God that everyone can learn something from what I say, and hopefully you flourish. Getting down to the matter, let's look at it more. My words ain't meant to be about
Shrek is love. Shrek is life.